local people, local news and events, local sports, local matters. For all things Lloydminster and area, this is Live with Kurt Price.
Yeah, thanks for joining us tonight here at the Canadian Brewhouse. We are excited to be here with the Tuesday night sports show for January. Back at the new Lloydminster Nissan, we have vehicles arriving every day now. We have the brand new 2025 Armada, plus the brand new 2025 Armada Pro 4X in stock. And we have the sleek and wonderful 2025 Muranos arriving every day, it seems. We have 5 of them in stock. They're absolutely gorgeous. So come have a look at the new Lloydminster Nissan, and if you're looking to get into a great-looking Rogue, we can get you into a 2024 Rogue for up to $5,000 off. Stop in today at the new Lloydminster Nissan, and remember, tires are always at cost at the new Lloydminster Nissan. Well, here at the Canadian Brewhouse tonight, we're chatting with PWM Steelers players Ashlyn, Hinton, and Ryann Rekimowich, and they're going to be talking to us about the Esso Cup coming to Lloydminster. Actually, over Easter, it will be here. Nicholas Dobson is also going to join us, and he's going to share the story of his, what he calls a little mishap, running the Ironman in Arizona. I would call it a little bit more than that, but he's got the details on that and how he is recovering as well. And Darren de Jong will join us as well with details on the Kitscoty Curling Club celebrating their 100th anniversary, and also golf season is not that far off, and he's going to be talking to us about what's happening with Kitscoty Golf as well. Here at the Canadian Brewhouse, it is a busy time, of course. For Valentine's Day, they have a surf and turf meal coming up. Dinner for 2 for just $69.99 with a 7-ounce sirloin and blackened shrimp. You're going to love that. And how about this? 40-ounce steak night for the big guys like me. 40-ounce steak night is back on February the 22nd here at the Canadian Brewhouse for just $49.99. So check that out. And of course, the Oilers are on a roll right now. This is the place where you catch all Edmonton Oilers action. Super Bowl's coming up on February 9th. This place will be packed, and it'll be a lot of fun for Kansas City when they win when Kansas City plays Philadelphia in the Super Bowl on February 9th. And you know what else is just around the corner that everybody super is excited for is the Four Nations Cup. That is on the way as well, and they'll be playing all the games here at the Canadian Brewhouse as well. So there's a lot going on here at the Canadian Brewhouse, and we're glad that you have joined us here tonight. Superior Water is proud to provide you with the purest drinking water possible, and I drink Superior Water because I like the taste. After all, it is Superior Water, and at just $3 a jug, you get a great, consistent taste, and ice for the Crown Royal is just $2 a bag. At Superior Water, water treatment is what they do, and they do it well. With 2 locations in Lloydminster, they are on 57th Avenue, and they are also have their coin-operated location just off Highway 17 South, and that is right by the 7-Eleven. Well, we remind you to get your nominations in for Cupcakes for Caregivers presented by Lloydminster Sobeys and the Lloydminster District United Way. We were excited to present local doctor, Dr. Still, with cupcakes last week. And I love reading all the comments that have come in about what a fantastic doctor he is. You can nominate a doctor, a nurse, you can nominate a home care worker, you can nominate family members who are caregivers in your own household. All you have to do is send us an email to livewithkurtprice@gmail.com. We'll take care of the rest, along with Sobeys, Lloydminster, and of course the United Way, Lloydminster and District. We want to hear your love story this Valentine's Day. Once again, this year, Heather and I are looking to sit down with 3 different couples to hear their love story. All couples that appear on Live with Kurt Price will get a $100 Spiro's gift card. And all we're going to ask you is about how you met and about the engagement, that kind of stuff. And we're excited to talk to Garth and Courtney George will be our first guests, not this Thursday, next Thursday. And you may be a little bit surprised on how romantic Garth can be. Love Stories brought to you by Richardson's Jewelry and Spiro's. And we remind you that we're down to the nitty-gritty now on the trip to Europe. You can join myself and Heather Price May 28th through June 13th as we travel through the Netherlands, Brussels, and France on a customized trip that will honor Canada's contributions in World War I and World War II. And what we've done is we've taken an existing trip and we've kind of modified it so that it fits more of what Canadians want to see when they travel through these three countries. There were things like Australian monuments and South African monuments. We said, no, let's make sure we're seeing what we want to see from our Canadian soldiers and our veterans. Places like Vimy Ridge, the Passchendaele Museum. We will be on Juno Beach on the 81st anniversary of D-Day. We'll see Essex Farms, where John McCrae wrote In Flanders Fields. And we'll have an entire free day in Paris as well. This is a bucket list trip. We have room for 2 more couples at least. 780-875-4414. If you're thinking about coming, book now, because we only have until about mid-February to sign you up. Well, I just want to check in with the Lloydminster Bobcats as well, being that we're on the sports show today. Bobcats with 2 huge wins over Bonnyville. I feel like with the Bobcats, it's like, in the big leagues, like if you're Edmonton, you got to beat Calgary. Now it's Vancouver. Montreal's got to beat Boston, that kind of thing. And for the Bobcats, 2 huge wins, 7-2 and 7-4 over the Bonnyville Pontiacs on the weekend. And they needed those wins. It's not like 2025 has started well for the Bobcats. Now the next 6, for the next 2 weeks, the Bobcats will be on the road. Well, I am excited to be joined in the booth here at the Canadian Brewhouse with Ashlyn, Hinton, and Ryann Rekimowich. Thanks for joining me, girls, and tell us a little bit about the Esso Cup. How's it going?
It's been going really good. We are excited to be on the show, talk about the Esso Cup. The season's going great. We have a great group of girls, so yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Kurt.
You bet. Now, one of your major sponsors is Paul Clausen from PWM Steel. He messaged me first thing Monday morning and said, hey, the girls won at Rogers Place. And that would be a great place because he knew I was going to be interviewing you ladies. That would be a great place for you to start. Let's start with what was it like to play at Rogers Place first?
It was a great opportunity. It was unreal. I can't even describe in words. It was so great, yeah.
Like, honestly, I don't know where you start. I think it was a great opportunity for us. And I know that actually some of the U13 Steelers as well came out and kind of got to see what we did, which was really neat because I have a billet sister on that team. So it was a really awesome experience for these little girls looking up to us. And I mean, really, it's pretty neat stepping on that ice and just embracing it and kind of thinking wow, this is a great opportunity that it's a once in a lifetime, like Ryan said, and it's awesome. Definitely a great experience.
What was the dressing room like, and then stepping out on, when you stepped on the ice, did you notice a difference in the ice? Did you think, man, this is professional ice? Because we hear how good the ice is there.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was kind of different, and even just jumping off the bench compared to a normal bench. I know that might sound kind of funny, but no, I think it was just quite the big difference in the boards and everything. And of course in warm-ups you get out there and you're just playing pass with the boards or whatever and just feeling kind of the bounce and everything, and there was definitely a big change, so it was pretty neat. And I actually took a penalty towards the end of the period as well, and the linesman skated over to me there and she's like, yeah, not a lot of players get to come here and go into this bench. And I was like, you know what, that's a good point actually. I was one of the players that got to be in a penalty box where NHL players have sat too, right? So
well, that's the whole thing. You're sitting on the bench and you're thinking hey, Ovi was just here the other night, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
That's got to be really, really exciting. How is the season going? First of all, now Paul was really excited because you guys won. You beat a team that hadn't lost this year. So tell us about that game.
Yeah, it was a really good game. Our first game against them was really close, and then we kind of had a little off game, but we came back and we kept up with them. It was good to finally get the win out of them because they haven't lost. So yeah.
How did you guys was it just the energy took over from being in that building? What do you think it was?
I think we were very motivated going into it. And I think, like I said, having those U13 girls, kind of just knowing that there was a crowd supporting us and just that pride within, we want to show everybody what we're made of, I think. And exactly, we kind of had a rough game against them the last time we played them, so I think we just had kind of that built up revenge. We want to show them hey, we're not a joke and we're ready to play. So
yeah, for sure.
So Ashlyn, what position do you play?
I play center, but currently I'm helping out on the wing right now. So
okay.
Yeah.
And how's your season going?
It's going good. Personally, I had a slow start to my season. I actually had surgery on my shoulder in June here, so it's kind of been, I got back, I guess, the end of November, I just started playing again, so it's been a good little experience, a good ride, trying to just get back to kind of my gameplay of what it was prior to my surgery, but I'm really enjoying it. Great group of girls, and honestly, just the energy and the environment, it's really awesome to be a part of.
And Ryan, what position do you play?
I'm a center as well. Yeah, me and Ashlyn playing on the line right now, actually, so yeah.
How's your season going?
It's going great, really good. I love our group of girls, and it's been such a good development year. Dan has taught us so much. Steph and Sid, they know the game so well, and they are sharing the game very well.
Okay, so the PWM Steelers overall, how's the season going?
We had a really good start. We went strong for pretty good. I think we had a little rough weekend or two there, here and there, but it happens with every team. But we are doing solid.
Well, you guys are traveling a lot. Like, you went out to Ontario.
Yeah.
You got a trip coming up to Vernon. Like, are you traveling extra because it's an Esso Cup year? Like, what? Like, or is this normal for the PWM Steelers to be traveling all over the country?
I think for the most part, most teams have taken one big trip. I feel like we've taken 3 big trips. So I think it's a little more because the Esso just prepare us for what's to come. But I think it's similar to other years, but a little bit more.
Are you saying that the Edmonton trip was a big trip too? Is that what you're kind of adding in, playing at Rogers Place?
You can for sure add that because that was
100%, yeah.
Yeah. And then you're out in Ontario just before Christmas, right?
Yes, we went to Toronto.
And how was that? Like, how was that tournament?
It was good. We also went to Regina, which we thought was like the competition was unreal. Like, it was new teams that we hadn't really seen before. Toronto was new teams too, but it was a little bit of a rush tournament kind of thing, so I didn't really. Yeah,
I think we had like a day turnaround and we were back on the road getting back to it, which was really neat. But yeah, I think the competition in both sides were nice because obviously we're used to playing your Western teams here, so going out east a little bit was kind of nice to just play those different teams. And like Ryan mentioned, we went to Regina to the Mandy Schwartz tournament there where you had to get like accepted, so we were pretty stoked about that, and I think Brampton really like set us up for going into that. So
yeah, good preparation.
So you guys have an early morning tomorrow. Tell us where you guys are headed.
We're off to Vernon, BC, tomorrow at 8 a.m. So
bright and early.
So what is that? What is that tournament? What's that trip about?
I think it's just a tournament that we were interested in going to. There's some pretty high caliber teams going to that one as well. So I think, just getting the last tournament done with out of the year, which is kind of crazy. We're already into February here almost. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one as well, I think.
Okay, Now let's get into the Esso Cup because this is exciting. What does it mean to have the Esso Cup here for you ladies?
It's it doesn't even feel real. It's such a great opportunity that we are so grateful to have. It's going to be so good, not only for us, but for Lloydminster. It'll be a new event that hopefully hits big.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing thing to bring to this community here, and I think we have such a tight community here that's supporting us, which is really awesome for us girls that are playing. And I think it's going to be a really great thing just to show like younger girls like this can happen. Like, girls hockey is becoming such a big thing now, and I think having like Esso in small town Lloydminster here is quite the thing for us. So words don't describe how grateful we are for this opportunity.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have it here, but what would it mean to see the stands full?
I know personally, I think I honestly might cry. I think I would be so overwhelmed. Like, it would be amazing to see all the support of people coming in. Obviously, we'd love to sell out the tickets, so if people are free around there, we'd be more than welcome to have that support cheering us on.
April 20th to 26th, what does it mean for you, Ryan, if you can get that building full? Because it will be it probably is the last big thing happening at the Civic Center.
It'll be so cool if we can leave a legacy in Civic Center before it gets teared down. Just if everyone fills the barn, it'll give us those players an extra motivation just to reach for the end, give a final boom in Civic Center.
So selling tickets, is that like, do you guys think of it as somebody else's? Well, somebody else will do that, or do you guys kind of take it as a team that, hey, we do want to sell this place out. We want to sell some tickets here.
Yeah, I think there's been a little bit of talk in the room, like the dressing room. I think especially in the second half of the season, girls are getting a little more excited for it. And I know lots of us are like sharing it on our social media platforms as well, just trying to get the word out there and whatnot. But no, I think you can get tickets at ticketmaster.ca now. And I think the pre-sale for $75 is ending on the 30th here. So get your tickets now.
Do you know how many games you're guaranteed? Like,
I don't know.
That's a tough question.
I think it's like, I feel like 5 or maybe somewhere around there. 6 or 5 or 6.
Yeah, I
sounds about right.
6. I want to say there's 6 teams, including us. So
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
play every team once in round robin, and then
that's when you want to see the barn just everybody just rocking and having a great time.
Yeah.
When you guys get good crowds where you play anyway, or down at the Service Sports Center, but do you feed off the crowd?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think we get our we have energy from the crowd, and our bench energy is totally different depending on how big the crowd is. So, we should be more consistent, but it does come into play.
I would, just touching on Ryan said, I think, I agree. I think the second you step on that ice, you take your little glance and make sure your parents are there and whatnot. But I think it's definitely, when you look up and you see people watching you, you're like, this is awesome. You're playing the game for them, right? So.
Well, it's pretty awesome to hear you guys talk about leaving a legacy at the Civic Center. I mean, that's, for any pressure on that? Is there any pressure being a home team?
Yeah, I would say so. I think we want to earn our spot. We don't want to just be the host team. We want to show that we deserve to be there, hopefully even win. So,
I think, there's a lot of pressure that comes with it. And I think it's also used in, motivation, right? I think it's, at the end of the day, you want to give back to what the community's given us. And I think, it's, you want to live up to it, so.
So that's a pretty good deal, $75 to get into the Esso Cup. Gets you into every game.
Yeah.
Right? That's a pretty good deal right now. That's the early bird prices right now at Ticketmaster. But I know you can't do this without a lot of sponsors too. So tell us about your sponsors. And I know one of them is very proud of you guys, and Paul Clausen. He's really excited to be hosting the Esso Cup.
For sure. And I don't think we could thank Paul enough. I think the PWM Steel has supported our name for 20-some years now, which is really awesome. And I think a huge thanks would go out to our platinum sponsors as well, which would be Lakeland College, Wild Rose Pump and Compression, and Blade Automation. And then just obviously this Esso Cup committee, which consists of lots of our parents and lots of supporters throughout the community. And just huge thanks to everyone, because without them, it definitely wouldn't happen. So we appreciate them. Well,
best of luck in Vernon tomorrow, ladies. And is there anything you wanted to mention that I haven't asked you?
Don't think, though. I think we covered it all. It was good.
Well, like you say, best of luck tomorrow. Enjoy the bus ride out to Vernon.
14 hours.
And if anybody out there is thinking about getting tickets, now is the time to get them. You can get some huge savings on those tickets right now at Ticketmaster for the Esso Cup. And that's over Easter. That's April 20th through 26th. And you heard the girls right here saying they'd love to see the building sold out, love to leave a lasting memory of one of the big events at the Civic Center. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you very much for having us. It was great.
Awesome. Ashlyn and Ryan. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk with our buddy Nick Dobson on his little mishap, he calls it, in Arizona during the Ironman. We'll be right back.
At Diamond 7 Meats, we work with local farm families to provide a high-quality product and a great selection for you. Try our mouth-watering smokies, pulled pork, roast beef, and more, made pure and natural with no additives or fillers. We offer custom processing, and our experienced team works for you to provide a selection of sausage, burgers, and jerkies made to your specifications. Take your grilling to the next level with a Yoder smoker. Complete the grilling experience with a Canadian-made, award-winning line of House of Q barbecue sauces. We're locally owned and operated, and we look forward to seeing you today.
At CK McKean Roofing, they understand what it took to put that roof over your head for your family. With over 20 years of experience under their belt, they strive to show you that with their workmanship and their integrity. Not all roofing companies are created equal, and that's why CK McKean Roofing encourages you to focus on your most important investments, your home and your family. CK McKean Roofing. Roofers do it on top.
At Lloydminster and District Co-op, membership matters more. Because being part of a co-op means you're connected to something bigger than yourself. From long-held legacy by those who built our communities, to people you call family, friends, and neighbors. When you're a Lloyd Co-op member, you're an owner in a local business that prides itself on purpose alongside profit. You earn cash back, you help support causes that matter most, and you're building a better way of life for the next generation. Membership matters more.
Welcome back to the Canadian Brewhouse. Remember, Valentine's Day is coming up, and they have a surf and turf meal here at the Canadian Brewhouse. A 7-ounce sirloin topped with blackened shrimp, served with seasonal vegetables, buttermilk ranch, mashed potatoes, and garlic bread, and served with your choice of a red or white wine. And that is only $69.99. Dinner for two here at the Canadian Brewhouse. And 40-ounce steak night is coming up. That's February the 22nd. This is your home for Edmonton Oilers hockey, of course. This place rocks when the Oilers play, especially on a Saturday night. And, of course, the Four Nations Cup is on the way as well. And who could forget Super Bowl on February the 9th. Sunday, February the 9th, between the Eagles and the Chiefs in what is, many saying, a predetermined win for the team in white, which will be Kansas City. BioClean Disaster Services is committed, certified, reliable, and will help you get your life back. Any kind of disaster, fire, flood, whatever it is, BioClean Disaster Services, you can be sure it will take care of your belongings and take care of your property, but more importantly, take care of you and take care of your family. And they're not only Lloydminster's largest restoration company, they're proud to be Lloydminster's local restoration company. BioClean Disaster Services at 1-833-246-8326. Now, speaking of disasters, Nick Dobson joins us. Back in November, Nick had an accident while he was running the Arizona Ironman. And I got a text one night from his wife saying, hey, did you hear about Nick? He broke just about every bone in his body on the right side while running the Ironman. So thanks for being here, Nick. Thanks for putting yourself out there too. But tell us about that Ironman. What is the Ironman in Arizona like?
So the Ironman, it's you got the swim, bike, and a run. So we swim 3.9 kilometers, 180-kilometer bike ride, and then a full marathon, 42 kilometers run following all that.
Okay, what makes somebody be so stupid they would want to do that? How long have you been planning to go to that?
So actually what happened about a year and a half ago, I applied to maybe go on a crazier event than that, and I put in for a lottery to do a triathlon in San Francisco, where I swam from Alcatraz to San Francisco and then did the remaining triathlon.
You did that already?
I did that one.
Okay, what was that like?
It was intense swimming. It was a challenge for sure.
Well, I thought you couldn't swim it. Like, isn't that with those three guys that didn't make it?
They strategically drop you off in the right spot so you have the current with you. But
okay.
It's it was incredible trying to swim through that. Was a challenge for sure.
Okay, who's watching you there? Like, is there boats everywhere?
There's boats everywhere. That particular time, they said the current had never been that strong before. It was 4.5 miles an hour. So when you were jumping off the boat, you were gone before the next person even had a chance to jump off behind you. So the boats out there had a tough time actually staying in position to be there for you. But we got through it. It was an incredible fast swim because you're with that current. So as long as you made sure you targeted to the right spot, you're okay.
What gets you involved in these things? Like, what is it that you like you got to qualify for these things? Or
that was a lottery-based one. So. That was, I had put in the year previous and didn't make it, but they say about 30% or something get into it, so okay. I lucked out and got a spot.
Okay, so that Ironman in Arizona, it was in November, what?
Yeah, so after I had trained, so that was October of 23 that I got accepted into Alcatraz, so I was training for that. Then I decided that I'd done all that work. I was talking with a guy there, he says, do a half Ironman, you're already trained for it. So I looked and Penticton fit into my schedule, so I did Penticton in August. And I actually did the Loon Lake Triathlon as well in August. That was a great local event, so big shout out to the people that organized that. It's fun. So then anyhow, as I was leading up to the half Ironman in Penticton, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. So I looked at the schedule. Arizona worked into my schedule, so I opted to do the full distance. You're doing all the training anyhow, so it's just adding a bit more in.
So you all this comes out of your own pocket? No. Like you have sponsors or anything like that, or it's all you?
No, happy to have sponsors if somebody wants to sponsor.
but you do it all?
Yeah, do it all, and get up on the bike. There were some bike rides, 5-hour bike rides, training rides. I do start at 1 a.m. in the morning or something in order to squeeze it in my week.
So who went with you?
I was there by myself.
You just flew down by yourself. Yeah. You're going to do it, fly right back home, kind of thing.
That was the intention.
Okay, so take us through the race.
So the race day starts. And you think November in...
What time does it start?
I think the swim started 7 a.m.
Okay.
So you kind of anticipate Arizona's warm. You think everybody goes to Arizona because it's warm. It was extremely cold that morning, and the swim, actually, they have certain rules once the temperatures hit certain degrees, so you actually were allowed to use a neoprene cap and all the extras because it was so cold. It was almost on the verge of being canceled. It was too cold.
Really?
So anyhow, got the swim in. It wasn't a bad swim.
How many?
3.9 kilometers.
3.9 kilometers. Okay.
So one big loop in Tempe Town Lake. So finish that. You get out of the water, and they've got people that pull your wetsuits right off for you there. So you just stand there, and they rip them off for you. And then you run into the transition tent. There's mud and grass and everything. And you have your bag. You jump into your bike gear, and off you go to grab your bike and head off on it's a 60-kilometer loop. So 3 loops that you do.
Okay.
So the first probably 20 to 30 kilometers was freezing cold. It was so cold that morning. Anyhow, you get dried off and you get feeling better as you get going. So that's nice, and incredible the wind there. The end of the loop is an uphill, and the wind is blowing with you, and it's just fantastic uphill. When you come downhill, the wind's blowing against you, and you can barely make it down the hill.
Really?
Yeah. So a bit of a challenge. So.
Okay.
So anyhow, got the first loop done, no problem. Finished doing the second loop, and halfway at right around the 90K mark, you stop and you can grab you have a little bag there that you left for yourself earlier. They have it set out, they pass it to you, you can refill your water bottles, do whatever you need to do. So I stopped there quick, reloaded on everything I needed, and then get going down. About 10 to 12 kilometers later, there's a little aid station where they can give you bottles of water or a quick snack or whatever on the bike. And so I didn't have any water. I just had my mixed drinks on my bike. So I thought I could use a little bit of water. So I grabbed a bottle of water, and I'm drinking it on my bike going through the little zone that they have set up. And you have to discard your bottle before you leave that area. So that's, they don't want garbage all over the 60-kilometer course. So it's just in a couple 100-meter spot they've got it set up. So as I'm tossing, there's lots of volunteers there, so I'm watching, so I'm not going to throw this bottle and hit somebody. So I'm watching, throw my bottle, my tire catches a little bump in the road, and it spins straight sideways, and I launch right over top of the handlebars and come crashing down on my right side of my body.
Okay, but that doesn't stop you.
No, so I laid there a couple minutes, and
A couple minutes? Anybody come help you or anything?
There's lots of people there. Like, everybody was there handing water bottles, so, right away there was people instantly right there and checking me out, and
bikes are going by you?
Bikes are going by. They're making sure that people know I'm there, and people are slowed down a little bit because they're trying to get things. If you're going fast through, you're pulled over onto the other side of the road. So that wasn't an issue. And I just remember one woman there, she was, talking me through, making sure everything was okay. And I said, yeah, I think generally I'm okay. And I asked, I could hear a guy, he's like, well, your bike looks fine. I checked everything on it, it's good. I said, okay, well, I think I'm going to get up and try if I can do this. And they said, are you sure? I said, yeah, I'll get on. If I make it 10 feet down and I decide to stop, that's what I'll do. So I get on the bike and I kind of get going. I'm like, well, I don't feel great, but maybe I can shake this off. So I keep going and get going a little bit further. And I remember about the last 5 kilometers where you cross a bridge and you come back into Tempe, and where you are about to start the next loop. I thought, I think I might be hurt. So as I'm coming up to that turn, or if you would transition back in for your run, that's where the turn is. And I remember getting there thinking, yeah, maybe I should turn in there and call it a day. And then I just decided, nope, we're going left, and it's 60 kilometers. That's not bad. I'll just do the last 60 kilometers. So I get going, and
you had to do 60 more kilometers?
60 more kilometers. So I start that loop, and I thought, well, I'm just going to take it easy. And so I get going and not pushing too hard. And then I get some straightaways, and I look down, and I'm up to like 30, 35 kilometers an hour again, and I'm thinking, well, I'm doing not bad. I'm feeling half decent on the lower half of my body at least, but I couldn't, you sit kind of put your arms down and you get into aerodynamic position, and I knew I couldn't do that. So once I got to that out to that end 30 and had to come back down the hill with the wind blowing, and I had no aerodynamics with me. I was standing there with a big sail on my bike. It was a terrible ride down, but I made it.
You made it 60 more kilometers.
60 more kilometers. So it was 77 kilometers from after I crashed. And probably the biggest part was I knew this arm was quite sore, obviously, at that point. So I was only steering with my left hand, and I couldn't reach down to grab a water bottle. So for 77 kilometers, I didn't have anything to drink. And I thought, well, you know, it's a big thing.
Are you bleeding or anything?
No bleeding. I had just a couple very minor road rash. So when I hit straight down. I didn't skid at all. So I thought, well, one of two things is going to happen. I'm going to be done at the end of this bike ride, and I don't need to worry about hydrating, or I'm going to be walking and I can drink for the next 8 hours. It doesn't really matter. So as I'm getting into the end of transition, or end of the bike ride into transition, I was kind of trying to play this out, how I was going to do this, because I didn't know how I could get off this bike necessarily. You're strapped in, and so I kind of go and I roll in and I lean onto the fence, and I'm still at this point I'm thinking, okay, I've got 8 hours. I was on a pretty good pace, so I got some buffer time. 8 hours to do a marathon. I thought I can walk that and finish. So
walk 42 kilometers.
Yeah, walk 42 kilometers. That was my goal had changed by that point, right? Yeah. I had certain goals, and I thought, well, I'll change them as I go. So I get to transition, and they have bike catchers there, so you're supposed to just jump off your bike and hand your bike over. They take it away for you, and you go get changed into your running gear, and off you go. So when I get there, I get to the line, and I told the lady that was there that was told you had to dismount off your bike. I said, I need somebody to grab my bike. She says, yeah, no, just grab, take it and they'll grab it for you. I said, no, I need somebody to grab it right now for me. So I'm leaning on a fence, and they kind of help pull the bike off, and I thought, well, this is the moment of truth here once I get the weight on my legs. And so I took one step and went straight to the ground, and pretty much at that point I thought, well, my day's probably over now. So somebody came out right away, and they said, do you need help? I said, yeah, I think I'm done. I need a wheelchair probably. Don't think I can walk. And so the guy that came out to help me said, well, you can't have a wheelchair now. He said, you rode all that, you're going to get up and you're going to walk across that line so that you get your official bike time. So he helped me get across probably another 100 feet or so, and then they had a wheelchair waiting for me right there, and dropped into the wheelchair.
Okay, so you're in the wheelchair.
So in the wheelchair, they roll me over to the medical tent where, they're ready to give Band-Aids out for blisters on your feet or whatnot. And so I go in there, they said, what happened? I said, well, I crashed my bike. And they're thinking, well, I just crashed when I got off the, dismounting here. They said, well, what happened? I said, well, I crashed 77 kilometers ago. And I think I'm kind of hurt. So they start assessing me, and
it shouldn't be funny.
No. Well, at that point, I was actually, I don't know what I was thinking. Probably they thought I was absolutely crazy, and so then they started assessing me, and I said, well, my ribs are broken, and they said, well, it looks like they're okay. I said, no, I can feel them in the back. They're broken. Like, I felt them on every breath.
You knew your ribs were broken. You kept biking.
Yeah, but I remember, like a lot of people tell you as you're going through your day there, they say you're going to have ups and downs on your day, so just push through those downs. So I guess I was pushing through those downs. Maybe it was a little much.
You knew you had broken. Okay, so you tell them you got broken ribs. What happens?
Yeah,
next?
so they do the full assessment. There's a doctor there, and they said, you need an ambulance. We need to get you out of here. I said, yeah, that's probably true. So they
you could have just biked to the hospital.
Yeah, it wasn't that far. So they I haven't seen that ambulance bill yet, so maybe I should have. But then they get me checked out. Ambulance is coming for me, and they get me loaded up. And I remember as they were kind of wheeling me out, the ambulance attendant talked to the doctor that was seeing me as they were pulling me out, and remember the ambulance attendant saying, well, do you think he needs any pain meds? Like, is he as bad as kind of making out to be? And she says, I think he's kind of tough, but I think he could really use something right about now.
And what's your mind like at this point? Like, you're hearing them, but are you?
Oh, I knew. Yeah, I was.
You're like, yeah, give me the pain med.
Yeah, I said some pain meds might be good. It's starting to get sore now. So anyhow, they get me into the ambulance. They said, well, we're not going to the close hospital. We're taking you straight to the trauma unit. So I ended up in Scottsdale in the trauma unit, and they take me into the ER there, and I'm in there for, I think, probably about an hour or so, and then all of a sudden, 2 great big male nurses come get me. They said, we're moving you to trauma right now, and take me over to the trauma unit in the ER. And I was there for, I think, a few hours, had full set of x-rays, CT scan, and at that point they determined I had a collapsed lung and 6 broken ribs.
6 broken ribs.
Yeah. So, well, actually, no, 4 broken ribs is all they told me about there at that point. 4 broken ribs and a collapsed lung. And so then so they sent me up to ICU because I had a chest tube in by this point in time. And I said, something is wrong with my hip. Like, there's an issue there. And nobody would believe me. They said, oh, everything looked good. So finally they sent me down. I remember this was about 4 a.m. So this was about 12 hours later. They said, we're sending you for MRI. They come back and they said, yeah, you got a broken pelvis. So the pelvis is broken. So then that was, I ended up in total in the hospital for 8 days down there. But about on day 3, they decided I needed surgery on my ribs because 3 of the ribs were broken in multiple spots. So they had to go in and do a surgery on that and repair those. So that was, I didn't even know they did a surgery like that.
How much pain are you in?
Actually, I wasn't in that much pain. It was surprising. So I didn't want to be on a whole bunch of pain meds, so they were pretty limited.
Okay, when do you talk to your family? When do you tell them what's going on with you? Because they're like, he's just going for a couple of days. Yeah,
so I got, when I was in the med tent, I was able to, I had no phone with me, of course, so then I was able to get a hold of the phone, get a hold of back home, and...
How do you, you don't even have the number. What did you know the number, or?
Oh,
because I was talking the other day with Heather, and I was like, if I had to call you in an emergency, I wouldn't know your number because it's just plugged into the phone.
Yeah.
My phone's not there. I have no idea what your number is.
Yeah, no, I had the number, so
we were okay. The number.
But yeah, no. So then we were able, everything got organized. Steph was able to get everything organized back home for me, and insurance figured out by the time I got into the hospital.
Did they fly down to see you in the hospispital?
Yeah. Yeah. So
family came down?
Yeah, was able to come down.
The whole family came down?
No, just Steph was down. Kids stayed home and managed to, so then 3 days in, had the surgery. And then, it was another 5 days or so that I was in the hospital. And then, interesting, so when we get back after all of that, I go in to see my family doctor.
Did they fly you back commercially?
They did. So that was one question we had right up until the last moment, if they were going to fly me commercially or not. And they determined, we were pretty much on our way to the airport for their final decision, and they said, no, we're just go commercial.
Okay.
So.
What's that flight like?
Wasn't mad.
They're uncomfortable,
Well, the insurance paid for a business class ticket home,
okay.
and had wheelchair support right through all the airports, and because we had to do a transfer, and it was okay. That actually went not too bad. So
what happens when you get to your own doctor?
So my own doctor, I go in and see the doctor here, and I'm telling her everything that's wrong. And we actually had got in contact with her prior to leaving Phoenix, so that if there was anything needed, or there was a bit better transition than trying to redo everything here. So she was well aware what was going on. She was in contact with the orthopedic surgeon already here. So they, checked me out completely again. Discovered when I got back here, I had 2 more broken ribs, so 6 in total.
There's your 6.
And then they determined I had a separated shoulder too, and that was one thing I'd complained the whole time down there was the shoulder, and they're like, no, your shoulder's fine. And my family doctor looks at me, the trauma unit in Scottsdale tells me it's fine, and my family doctor looking at me says, your separated shoulder. So
just to look at you.
Just looked at me.
You got a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
Do you think they just didn't want to do it because it would have added more to the bill, maybe?
I don't think they're worried about the bill. My insurance company's probably worried about the bill. But.
Okay, so there's a lot of talk about we should become part of the States right now. What?
I have 285 $285,000 US dollar reasons why not to become a part of
That's
that.
how much it was?
$285,000 US.
And what's that translate to Canadian?
410,000 roughly.
400.
And I don't know if that's the final bill. That was the last time
Like you
I
said,
heard
you
from
haven't
the
seen the
hospital.
ambulance bill.
And I haven't seen the ambulance bill.
Okay.
So, I'm guessing it's a bit higher than what those numbers are.
But you're thinking insurance, like hopefully.
Insurance has said they're paying 100%. We were on the phone with them, had approval for everything prior to anything happening.
Okay, now here's the crazy part. You finished the race, like you finished the bike race. That's one thing. But I saw you just the other day, and you're not running or anything, but you're kind of exercising to get back. Like
Yeah. So as I'm sitting in the hospital bed there, you got a lot of long days not doing anything because I couldn't hardly get up. I was going for a quick 5-minute walk, and that was my exercise for the day. So I'm sitting there going, well, I'm not going to sit here and do this for very long. So I booked my next 2 races sitting in the hospital bed in Phoenix. So
what are your next races?
So I booked to go to World Police and Fire Games in Alabama on July 6th and July 20th, the Lake Placid Ironman.
Anybody going with you?
I haven't figured that. I don't even know if I'm going yet, but that's my goal is to try and do it. But the other day when I was running at service on the track, I haven't got outside yet because I'm not so comfortable with my pelvis situation yet. So I'm running at service and start breathing hard, and I kind of grab my chest because my ribs are still kind of, not the most solid yet. And so they were about to call an ambulance on me because they obviously thought I was maybe having a heart attack or something there. I said, no, I'm fine. My ribs are just all broken.
Okay, let's give a shout out to Jim too, who fixed your bike.
Oh yeah, Jim at Grinding Gears, I took the bike in there and before Christmas, and I said, well, can you go over it, check it out and whatnot? And so he said, yeah, he'd get to it. And I stopped in there a few weeks later. He said, well, I haven't got to it yet. I didn't think you were too worried. I said, oh, no, I just thought I'd get it out of your way. And so then when he finally did get it done, I pop in and he says, well, I was expecting this thing was going to be a total disaster when I looked at it. But he says, everything's perfectly fine on it. Your bike, is mint condition. And I said, well, I took the brunt of it, I guess.
You must have. Is there any video of any?
I sure hope not.
What did you land on? You landed on your... Did you land on the bike? Or did
I went over, cleared the handlebars. The bike stopped dead, and I went right over, and I came straight down, obviously, right on my complete right side. So, because I think as far as we can figure out that my arm was probably what resulted in all the ribs being broken.
Do you think you just had a loss of focus for a second? Is that all?
Yeah, that's all it took. I was, it was
the combination of being tired.
Well, I don't even know if that, I was feeling in real good shape. It was just that I grabbed that water bottle. I had one hand on. I was looking off to the side. The rest of the race.
If you had to do it again?
Yeah, just...
Who cares if it hits somebody?
Yeah, who cares?
Thanks, Nick.
No problem.
What a story. Okay, we'll take a break, and when we come back, Darren de Jong with the Kitscoty Curling Club as they celebrate their 100th anniversary, and they're doing so in a couple of different ways. He's got the details on that, and Kitscoty Golf Club as well.
How can you help support the oil and gas industry and jobs in Western Canada? The answer is closer than you think. Sell your scrap metals to PWM Steel. PWM sells scrap iron to Evraz, located in Regina. Evraz's #1 customer is the energy sector, building pipes and plates for the oil and gas industry. PWM Steel is your locally owned metal recycler and steel service center in the area. Plus, they're a strong supporter of the community. PWM Steel, your top steel supplier for Alberta and Saskatchewan for 40 years.
At Jason Arden Associates Cooperators, we're proud to be a top-rated local insurance company that offers flexible solutions and expert advice for all your insurance and investment needs. We'll work with you to tailor your insurance specific to your needs, and we offer investment advice that always puts you first. At Cooperators, one of our core values is to give back to the communities that we live in. Thanks to the support of our clients in Lloydminster and area, in 2023, Jason Arden Associates has donated $40,000 to local nonprofits, charities, students, athletes, and other special events. How does your insurance company support our community?
It's more than just taxes at L&A CPA. Assurance, accounting, retirement planning, estate planning, business consulting, financial consulting, farm program support, and bookkeeping. But yes, there is always taxes. The team at L&A CPA is committed to helping you achieve your best results and will be there to assist you every step of the way. L&A CPA, with offices in Provost, Vermilion, and Lloydminster.
I'm Brian Zinchuk of PipelineOnline.ca. I used to be a pipeliner, and I've spent the last 15 years reporting on energy in Saskatchewan. PipelineOnline.ca provides comprehensive coverage of light oil, heavy oil, lithium, helium, power production including coal, wind, solar, geothermal, natural gas, and nuclear. There's a lot happening in Saskatchewan's energy sector, and Pipeline Online is there for all of it. No one else comes even close.
Welcome back to the Canadian Brewhouse. This is your home for Edmonton Oilers hockey. They've got a couple of games coming up against what I would call the old Norris division. They got Detroit on Thursday, and then Toronto is in there on Saturday, and that's always a big game when Toronto plays Edmonton. And this place will be rocking too. This is the home for Edmonton Oilers hockey and for the Four Nations Cup that is coming up in February as well, and of course February 9th. There's the Super Bowl, which you can bet will be packed here at the Canadian Brewhouse, so you should be here as well. Valentine's Day coming up. They got the Surf and Turf for two for $69.99, and February 22nd, put this on your list as a to-do to pick up tickets for 40-ounce steak night. Wellings of Lloydminster is an active 55 and over community. 66 bungalow townhome villas that are just awesome. Beautiful, beautiful high ceilings if you like that. And they also have low ceilings. There's 1 and 2 bedrooms. The 2 bedrooms come with a garage. So what it is it's care freedom living. So that means you don't have to worry about anything. If your health is starting to fail, well, don't worry. You're not shoveling. You're not cutting grass. You're not fixing appliances. You're not getting under your sink if something happens. You don't have to worry about any of that. Somebody comes in and does that all for you. It's all taken care of. Or if you're on the other side of that and you're traveling all the time and you're worried about, is something going on with my water heater? Is my furnace running when it's minus 40 because I'm down here in Florida and my dollar isn't worth anything, but back home I'm worried about how much am I spending because something's going on. You don't have to worry about that. Call Darlene and she'll walk you through Wellings of Lloydminster, 780-872-8537. The nice thing is you live independently, right? You're still living independently. You're still cooking your own meals. People are coming over. You can have a pet if you want to have a pet, that kind of thing. It's Wellings of Lloydminster. Well, Darren de Jong is here, and we're going to be talking about Kitscoty's golf club. We'll get to that, and curling club, which is celebrating their 100th anniversary here coming up. So that's pretty exciting. So 100 years centennial. So is it 100 years for the rink, Darren, or is it 100 years for the club?
As far as I can gather, so the club was founded in 1925. So as we're celebrating it is 100 years of the Kitscoty Curling Club. I tried searching back to try and find some dates on when the building was actually built, and I have yet to try and find a real concrete date. There's been a lot of archives and a lot of history throughout that building that has been kind of moved around and transitioned as things gone on, and even, you know, a lot of people don't even really know that, but the curling club actually moved from the south side of the tracks to where it sits right now way back in the day too. They actually moved the whole rink across town. So there's a lot of things got moved around, and I tried to find some dates and talk to some local people in the area to try and get a little bit more history on it, and came a little bit short by the time it came to having the interview with you guys. But yeah, we are doing, as it's called, a centennial celebration for the club itself, so 1925.
I feel like there's a lot of pride there.
Yeah, I think there is. There's a lot of pride within the board itself, the club itself in 2025. You know, it's a huge accomplishment for Kitscoty Curling Club and the village itself, as well as the residents within the area, local people in town, farmers, everybody who contributed back when the curling rink initially started. I mean, we actually have a framed poster. Back in the day, it was just probably 30 or 40 names of people who donated monetary values, and it was $25 per each of these family names. And back then, that was a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we're talking about, you know, just a few names, for example, like the Beatons, the Millers, Parkers, Laytons, Evanses, Vanances, Mitchells, Saripas, McLeans. I mean, and the list goes on and on and on. I could sit here for a long time naming off all these people that were a huge integral part of the Kitscoty Curling Club. And this centennial event is trying to, our way to pay homage to them and thank them for creating and paving the way for the curling club and what it became and what it is now and what it hopefully can continue to be for the future.
Yeah, as you're listing those names, I'm going, I recognize that, I know those people, I recognize that name. So for all these years, they've been involved with the curling club. That's where the pride comes in.
Yeah, well, that's just it. I mean, times have changed throughout, right? I mean, the people and the families that are around, there are still lots of those family names within the community and around the area, right? And a lot of them still really, really support the community and as a whole, the Kitscoty Curling Club. So yeah, we do. We thank them for it, right? And we want to keep the trend going and keep the tradition going and try and keep curling within the community.
So there's a few things you guys are doing to celebrate your 100th anniversary.
Yeah, you betcha. So we kind of planned on a certain date. So we're trying to do two things. February 21st is when we're actually going to have kind of a dance. So it'll be a Friday night dance. It starts at 7. We've kind of teamed up with the Kitscoty Dance Academy. They have approached us and said, hey, we want to help out too. This is a great thing to celebrate, right? So they are going to be hosting the dance at the Kitscoty Hall. We're going to have, an open bar, and I call it, we're going to have an open bar, but it's going to be a family dance, right? Everyone's invited. It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone's able to come. And we're going to kind of title it as Dancing Through the Decades. So what we plan on doing, we have a DJ coming in, and we're hoping to kind of highlight the different styles and trends of music through the ages, right? And then if we can, it'd be awesome if we could actually get some people to actually showcase the type of dancing that would come through, people who knew how to square dance or ballroom dance or two-step or, all that sort of stuff, right? And just kind of transition as the night goes on from 1920s, 1930s, 1940s all the way up to 2025, where of course you're going to have your generations like myself and my family and other younger families that are going to be hanging out and kind of more motivated to be a part of that, and of course to see what it was like back then, right? What they did back then for fun, right?
And of course, so where do you get tickets for that, Darren? For
the dance?
Yeah.
You just walk in. It's all free.
It's free?
It's free.
Oh.
Yeah, we're doing this as a giant celebration for the Kitscoty Curling Club. This is just an open door event. Anybody's welcome to come and enjoy the festivities, talk, celebrate, this huge achievement.
Okay, that's pretty. Now, you guys are celebrating on the ice too.
Yes, we are. So it's going to kind of transition. So we're going to do it kind of Friday night is kind of the party type thing, right? And then the 22nd, which is going to be the Saturday, we are actually going to have a family-oriented 4-person open bonspiel. So it's going to be 4-person teams. We're going to shorten up the games to 4 ends, right? It's going to be nice and quick because we hope to have a lot of teams. Like we're hoping to have 25 teams register, right? If you have a team, you can register. It's going to be $100 for a team. If you're a single curler, right, you don't necessarily have a team lined up for you, you're still welcome to sign up. $25. If we have a whole bunch of singles, we're going to do our best to make the teams for you. And then we can still end up getting these sheets in and getting the games going, and everybody can have fun. Any age at all too, right? I mean, young, old, kids just wanting to learn. We can have pros there. It don't really matter to us. We just want people to enjoy the Kitscoty Curling Club for what it is now, and just, show their pride in the community and what we have to offer.
Well, it's families that built it, so why not have a family, right? Yeah, have a family event.
Absolutely.
You have an honorary team?
Well, that's what we're kind of hoping to do too, is we're planning on doing like an honorary team. We're that's still kind of in the works, but we want to kind of do some sort of special thing for a group of people that, really, really made the Kitscoty Curling Club what it is and what kind of created it, right? So, of course, the people that we end up selecting, they're hoping to, get the special services. They don't even necessarily have to play, right? Just come and they're going to be the quote-unquote honorary team. They get to sit, they get to watch, they get the special treatments, that sort of thing, right? So hopefully we can line that stuff up as well.
Now, am I forgetting anything about the 100-year celebration for curling?
So, well, I guess for the dance on the 21st, we're going to have a midnight lunch. So hopefully that'll be a bonus thing as well. We got a couple other things lining up and coming down the pipe as well. Nothing's concrete yet, so I don't want to embellish on any of that. And again, on the 22nd, we're going to have like a beef on the bun thing. That we will end up. It's going to be a small charge or whatever, $5 a plate or something like that, right, for the beef on the bun, right, just to help cover the cost of that meal. But other than that, it's just going to be a great time for everyone to show up. Hopefully we can fill the seats to watch, and we can fill those sheets, and have a lot of fun. Just really enjoy the weekend, right? So I mean, 100 years, that only comes once in a lifetime, right?
Yep.
Once in a lifetime. I mean, with us too, right? With curling as a whole, and with the club that we have, and
the work you guys have done.
Well, yeah, I mean, over the past years, I mean, I really hate to try and blame somebody, but I mean, the pandemic really ended up hurting us too, and it hurted a lot of clubs as well, right? So we really wanted to try and get the numbers back up, because they're all dwindling, right? I mean, we do have an aging facility and stuff like that, and we've really tried to focus on the youth trying to come in and trying to build that as well. There's school programs in Kitscoty that have curlers come in from the high school. We got a couple dedicated coaches and stuff like that. Our president, Landon Bicott, he's been a very, very integral part in getting these kids on the sheets and trying to work things out with them and trying to get them more involved, so they have a little bit more of a desire for it, right? Those are going to be the people that are going to continue it on, right? I mean, we're young enough, we're building the past, and hopefully they follow it on, and we can, look into the future and possibly look into what Kitscoty curling clubs as for, bigger plans possibly, right? You just never know. But unless we have, that dedicated group of individuals to play the game, that dedicated group of individuals to volunteer, to dedicate their time. I mean, it's so hard to dedicate time nowadays because everyone is so busy, but we have to try and do that in order to make these things work, right? I mean, it's tough. I get it, and we're grinding through it. We're a small board, but we're just pushing and pushing and pushing to try and make this work out, right? And that's all we can do.
Well, once again, nice to see the families.
Yes.
That's the big thing.
Absolutely.
As far as there's been some changes to what is happening out in Kitscoty with the development of a new curling club and et cetera like that. But there's been more changes over the winter. You guys have added some stuff to the golf course as well.
Yeah, actually, that's been kind of a little bit of a pilot project as well. And then, I kind of bouncing back and forth because, I'm on the board with the curling club, but I'm also the president of the Kitscoty Golf Club. So with the golf club, we kind of started doing a little bit of a pilot project. We implemented a cross-country ski track on our course. It came up as an idea from a couple of people, and we were kind of thinking about it for a while. I'm like, you know what, let's just try it, right? So we had a local individual who had an old groomer that you could pull behind a snowmobile, and we have a couple of volunteers that love to ride their snowmobiles, so what better way to just putz around the golf course and make these nice little groomed tracks for the people that love skiing, right? And it's been a huge hit. We've had lots of people, really, really happy to see that. And all throughout the area, like on the north side of Kitscoty, there used to always be a couple little cross-country ski tracks, just like in the pastures or in the trees and stuff like that, right? I mean, it's nice. Our track that we have on the course is just about 2.5 kilometers long. We have a little area where you can cut it short and you go a different direction and whatnot, right? But it's rolling terrain, nice hills. We ended up doing a parallel track, so instead of being behind each other, you can be side by side and be chatty Cathy's or whatever you want to be and just enjoy the day, right? So,
to bring it full circle with curling, it's similar to here because when I was here for the Aztec safety and going in, there seemed to be always somebody coming through Lloyd Golf Club skiing, and I was amazed at how busy that trail actually was. There's a lot of people more dedicated to their bodies than I am. That's for sure.
When we actually had our first initial meeting to try and see whether we were going to make this a go or not, we had a gentleman from Lloydminster who actually kind of helped implement and kind of helped design tracks within the area. He came down and really, really helped us out trying to figure out exactly. They walked out and they kind of did the terrain and looked to see where the snow loads might be, or which would be good, which wouldn't be, and we kind of utilized his plan to work this out, and it's been great. Yeah, people really enjoy it.
Now, we tried to get you on ahead of Christmas because I
Yes.
know you guys are doing some special stuff there too.
Yes.
You've got a raffle going on.
Yeah, you betcha. So we have been running this raffle since kind of early fall, and we've kind of dubbed it Kitscoty Golf Club's Ultimate Golf Experience. So as with the golf club being non-for-profit as well, we really rely on what we can do to bring capital in outside of, just operating the golf course, right? I mean, costs are rising every single year, and we try our best to keep our rates and stuff like that as low as possible, because it's, to get out on the golf course and enjoy it is what we really want to see, right? I mean, we can't compare to, the country club or stuff like that, right? But we can still, promote our club and be able to provide the best service we can that Kitscoty has to offer, right? Being able to do a contest like this is going to help us kind of gain that capital so we can increase what we can do on the course, improve on it, and do updates, whether it's equipment or golf carts. Last year we bought 5 new to us golf carts just because, it's time to, update some equipment and make some changes and let the community see that we want to improve. We want to make this better. And so we did that, but now this contest is going to allow us to further, again, put more capital back into the golf course and maybe even possibly other projects that are going to stem up within, the regional park and the golf course itself.
Okay, tell us about the contest, because you guys have a pretty awesome prize.
Yeah, so that's going to be really, really cool. So I've hooked up and I spoke with some coordinators with St. Eugene's Golf Course and Casino in Cranbrook, BC. They were the first people that I contacted, and what I told them is I want to set up a getaway for 4. I want to set up at least 3 golf courses, 18 holes each, carts included, travel and accommodations. I worked with Lambert Travel here in Lloydminster. They're going to help us set up the flights. I've worked with High Roller Limousine. They're actually going to work with us, and we're going to use them as transportation from Lloydminster to Edmonton. So all they have to do is
taking care of everything.
Yeah, we've taken care of as much as we possibly can outside of whatever they want to do after their golf game or whatever else. Me personally, right, St. Eugene's has a casino, so I'm going to hang out maybe in the casino, right? But, we wanted to set it up so there's going to be 18 holes at 3 different courses. So St. Eugene's is going to be number 1, Shadow Mountain is going to be another, and Wildstone is going to be another. I spoke to quite a few enthusiasts within the area that kind of really pinpointed those courses because they're so close together. Transportation between them is really easy. So we utilize them, and they set it up. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, they can have their 3-day, 2-night stay at St. Eugene's. We'll travel them over to each golf course when they're done. They can come back. It's really close to Cranbrook too, so they can take an Uber or a taxi or transportation, go into Calgary, have some fun if they want, or they just stay at the hotel and enjoy themselves there, right? But yeah, we tried to figure it out so there was nothing for them to worry about. The only thing, you have to book 30 days in advance or whatever the case may be, but that's pretty minimalistic, right? As long as the date's set up and everything works out, it's going to be a fantastic experience. It's going to be about like a $7,500 trip, right, when it all comes down to it. So it's going to be a great experience. Or, I mean, these tickets aren't just, for sale to golfers. I mean, anybody can buy them, right? And we have the option of taking a $5,000 prize too if you so choose. So, yeah, if you want to buy tickets, there's 875 tickets total to be purchased. We are just over 75% sold. So they are selling. Hopefully, we can get jumping up on that and getting them sold a little bit quicker, because the draw date's going to be April 12th. We're actually going to be drawing the winning ticket at the Kitscoty Dinner Theatre on the 12th of April. So they're going to be drawing the 12th. They're $25 ticket, or you can get 5 for $100. That's what everyone's been doing. They've just been getting the 5 for $100, right? That's the better deal out of it all.
Yep.
You can do multiple ways. You can send an email to us, so kitscotygolfclub@live.com. We can do it via e-transfer, so we'll send out the tickets to you. We'll mail you your stubs. We'll send you pictures, whatever the case may be. You can also go to any one of our approved, selling locations. So we got Farmstead Market and more in Kitscoty, Only Sourdough, Kitscoty Arena. In Lloydminster here, we got Fountain Tire. 360 Supply, It's Time Promotions, Bexon Construction, Webb's Machinery in Vermilion is selling tickets as well, and there's one more that we actually just recently hooked up with, so Let's Golf, the indoor virtual golf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're actually an approved ticket selling location as well. So, I mean, that's kind of obvious. If wintertime you're not golfing, you're going to go there, so we figure we try and hook up with them. Yeah, they say, for sure, we'd like to help.
Well, $25 a ticket.
Yeah. For that trip, that's pretty outstanding.
Or $5,000, like you say.
Yeah. If you buy any tickets, make me your friend. You can take me with you, okay?
So it's for two?
Four people.
Four people.
Yeah, you betcha.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty awesome. You're taking care of everything on that. So get a ticket ASAP if you haven't got one of those.
Yeah, you betcha.
It's a little bit early to start looking at opening dates and stuff, but not if you're Darren de Jong.
No, well, I've been thinking about the club for a while now, and just, historically we try and open May 1st, right? So I've already been in the process of getting out there, trying to find staffing for our maintenance crew, staffing for our clubhouse attendants and stuff like that. We are still actively looking, right? I mean, obviously it's still early in the season, but I'd like to get a head start. I'm always trying to be proactive just so I don't have to wait last minute to try and sort this stuff out. So if there's anyone out there, wants to have fun in the summer, summer students, we love having summer students along, right? I mean, you're in between post-secondary terms or whatever the case may be, come to golf course. If you have your pro serve, you're 18, you love working with people, you love driving around in a golf cart, right? Come on down. We could, take your resume, have an interview, and we can see what we can do for you, because that's we like to kind of put money back into their pockets as well, because if we know going into post-secondary is not cheap either, right? So we might as well help them out as well.
No, now's the time to start figuring out what you're going to be doing over the summer, and you'll be spending a lot of time outside. Yeah. Okay, the disc golf course is huge out in Kitscoty.
Yeah,
what's going on there?
That's really flown off the handle too. I'm super happy with how that all turned out. They are kind of working on scheduling for tournaments and stuff like that as well. So far, they have one tournament scheduled for July 26th. That's going to be a great weekend. They had a tour come through last year, and they ended up booking up probably 80% of the campsite as well, because they all showed up. They brought their tents and their trailers. They camped. It was a full weekend tournament. It was really, really good. It was a little bit windy, right? But it ended up being a very, very good event for them, and a great event for us as well, because it put a little bit of publicity for the golf course as well out there.
So I kind of said off the bat things have changed out in Kitscoty a little bit. So what are the future plans out in Kitscoty for the course?
Well, we're still working forward to future upgrades on the course independently, whether it be equipment or maintenance updates. I always like to try and throw some extra trees on the fairways just to close them up a little bit, right? But we're also still trying to work with the Village of Kitscoty and Minor Ball, with the regional park as a whole, right? So with that being said, the Village of Kitscoty is still kind of on board with doing the regional park upgrade, kind of with the same deal, with the same design as what we had when the proposed sports and event center was going to be designed and put down there. They're still hoping to kind of move forward with the plans for possibly the campsite and the ball diamonds, putting a larger ball diamond in so Minor Ball can host larger tournaments, different scales of tournaments and stuff like that. And that's going to change to what the golf course does as well, because that's going to modify our hole number 9 fairways and stuff like that, right? So we got some plans in the future for that. We're still working with the architectural engineer on that to try and figure out phases so that it's not going to impede on Minor Ball and golf at the same time, or the campsites as much. We're just trying to plan it strategically so possibly we can get things done, and not all 100% at one time, right? Because it's going to cost money. But we want to make sure that we do this right, and we want to make sure the community has a say in what happens as well, right? So,
so it won't be the curling and the 4-H and the
no.
Move ahead with the regional park.
Yeah, we're still going to move ahead with. Well, the village is still going to move ahead with the regional park. There's still going to be a spot dedicated for a proposed building for in the future, whether it's a joint effort for Minor Ball, for like the golf club. Minor Ball, like a concession, clubhouse, that sort of thing. Maybe even a central office for the campsites. Who knows, right? But we still want to emphasize and utilize the space as it was designed by the engineer originally.
How's the course change?
So with the added parking that we're going to do, because the ball diamond's going to be moving a little bit to the north, so that's going to impede on hole number 9. We're going to end up possibly having to change the layout on the golf course. So hole number 9 is going to be more north-south. Right now it's, east-west, right? So it'll be north-south, and that'll change hole number 8. It'll shorten up hole number 8. And with that, it ends up gives us the opportunity to change up a few other things as well in the future, right? I mean, if we can, change a couple parts of the layout that, have a little bit of an issue here and there when it comes to safety, right? I mean, you're shooting over a hill right against another green. We'd like to try and change that up if we can, just to make it a little bit of a safer course and, improve on the layout a little bit, right? But that's a long ways down the road, but it's got to be in the back of our head so we can keep it into consideration.
Lots going on, Darren. Am I forgetting anything?
I forgot. So on the 22nd, for the curling, February 22nd. So we still have the Battle of Alberta tickets that we purchased for the Bonspiel. We are still going to draw those off for the registered team. So anybody who comes in and plays, they're going to be eligible to win those tickets, right? So
for Flames and Oilers,
Flames and Oilers. So that's going to be a great ordeal too. And again, right, that's not just a game. It's a weekend game, so we have accommodations there as well. So you don't have to go up and drive all the way back home. You can stay at the hotel up there too.
Thanks, Darren. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you betcha. Thank you very much.
And we appreciate you being with us here at the Canadian Brewhouse. Remember, we've got Detroit and Edmonton here on Thursday night. This place will be rocking. If you think it's going to be busy on Thursday night, wait till the Leafs are in Edmonton on Saturday night. Seems like a lot of Leaf fans come out of the, off the bandwagon or on the bandwagon, or whatever you want to call it, when the Leafs play in Edmonton. So it should be a really hopping place on a Saturday. Check out the Valentine's Day tickets, just $69.99 for Surf and Turf. That's for 2. And, of course, the 40-ounce steak night is coming up as well. And if you're making plans for February the 9th for Super Bowl, make them here at the Canadian Brewhouse, because that's going to be... I think Philadelphia's going to... I watched those 2 games on the weekend. I think Philadelphia is actually going to give them a little bit of a run. I'm not so sure they stand a chance if the Bills didn't, but it'll be an awesome game. And I'm super stoked. I don't know about you, Darren, but I'm super stoked for Four Nations. Yeah. I want to see Connor McDavid wear Team Canada jersey.
Absolutely.
And the place will be going crazy too, especially if it's USA Canada when it comes to that. So lots going on. Yeah, lots going on here at the Canadian Bros. We're back with you tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. Kagan Neen from the Men's Shelter going to be joining us. We'll talk about the coldest night of the year, which is coming up in February as well. A huge fundraiser for the Men's Shelter. Tomorrow morning we'll be back at the new Lloydminster Nissan.